Hi, everybody. So today's video is going to be a little bit different because this is actually going to be the first live I do on this channel on YouTube. But if you read the title, today's video is going to be on relationship astrology, and it's going to be based off of the 7th and 8th houses to figure out what your type is and who you gravitate towards when it comes to a soul connection. So the difference between the two as determined by our 7th and 8th houses. So let's get into it. First, we need to talk about what the houses are and how we can conceptualize them in order to do better in our relationships, whether that be platonic or romantic, and just talk about the difference between the 7th and the 8th houses and how they come up in our relationships. So the astrological houses are supposed to represent different aspects of our life. So if our first house or our ascendant or rising sign, it shows our approach to life, our appearance, sometimes our defense mechanisms, things like that. But as you continue down, all the way down to the 12th house, you start to see different things like how into romance you are, or if you're not into romance, you can maybe look at your 5th house, where you get your self-confidence from in the 2nd house, how you communicate in the 3rd house. But once you get down to the 7th and the 8th houses, you can start to see some real information in regards to how we show up in our relationships, whether that be romantic or platonic. So the 7th house tells us about how we relate to others, the types of connections that we like to establish with others, the types of people we're drawn to. And it can also show how we are in our friendships, how we show up for our friends, and how we show up for our romantic partners. It's not necessarily the deep bonds that we form, but the simple dynamics and what we're just naturally gravitated towards. Whereas the 8th house, it talks about intimacy, deepness, and having a commitment to connection, what we need to trust another person, what's needed to nurture and establish a deeper connection with someone to let them in. This house is very telling of what you need in order to build trust and to really kind of bond and bind with another person. So in today's video, we're going to go through each element on the ascendant, and then talk about the 7th and 8th houses there, which will talk about your type and your soul connection. So we're going to start with fire ascendant. So if you have a fire rising sign, either in Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, that means that you have air on the descendant, or air in your 7th house, and in your 8th house you have a water sign. So based off of your 7th house to figure out your type would be someone that is very fun, maybe someone that's a conversationalist, and someone lighthearted, charming, and casual. But your soul connection, what you need to establish a soul connection and trust with another person, is based off of your 8th house, which falls in a water sign. So you're gonna need someone that is someone you can be vulnerable with, someone that's trustworthy, maybe sentimental, someone that is very clearly emotionally available, and that just gets deeper. The relationship gets deeper over time. You guys start to unpeel parts of your trauma and things like that with each other. That's what will make you have a soul connection with someone versus your type. We can go a little bit more in depth with this based off of each specific rising sign. I'm not going to do too much because it's going to be way too long. But if you are an Aries rising, that means you have Libra in the 7th house and Scorpio in the 8th house. So you're going to be attracted to, your type is going to be someone very charming, someone that is very relatable to others. But what you need to really trust another person is someone that is okay with recognizing their dark secrets, their dark side, because you have Scorpio in the 8th house. So you need someone in order to build trust in a deep connection with another person. You need someone that is able to dive deeply into themselves and therefore make you feel comfortable enough to do so. And then if you have Leo on the ascendant, that means you have an Aquarius in the 7th house and Pisces in the 8th house. So Leo risings, their type is going to be someone that is a little bit chaotic, unconventional. They might have some crazy style, just say the most outlandish shit, be into conspiracy theories, whatever. But they're just someone that you can't really figure out. You feel like you can never really figure them out. That's your type. Someone that just stands out. But what you need to establish a strong bond with another person is going to be like someone with Pisces like qualities. So someone that is very deep, someone that is willing to make this spiritual ascension with you, someone that wants to grow with you, not just materially but emotionally too, someone that wants you guys to kind of bind as one, and is okay and comfortable with communicating that with you, because that will make you kind of be less hard as you are on the outside with the Leo rising. But if you have a Sagittarius rising, you have Gemini in the 7th house and Cancer in the 8th house. So your type is someone who is a great conversationalist, someone that maybe has like a lot of friends, someone that comes off very friendly and is like maybe like the class clown or jokester, someone that can make anybody laugh no matter what. But what you need to feel comfortable with somebody and to establish that type of bond or soul connection with another person as a Sagittarius rising is going to be someone that is like nurturing, someone that understands that you need someone to be soft with them and to cater to their emotions, to remind you that, yeah, you can be an optimistic Sagittarius rising, but it's also okay to need help sometimes. It's also okay to, not feel your best sometimes. And that will make you feel closer to another person in that way. So yeah, let's just keep going down the list. So that was fire ascendant. If you have an earth rising, so either in Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, that means that you have a water sign on the 7th or in the 7th house, and you have a fire sign in your 8th house. So your type is going to be someone that is a good listener, is emotionally available, able to be vulnerable, and is trustworthy with you, someone that is sentimental, and that just allows the relationship to get deeper over time. But if you have an earth sign on your ascendant, your soul connection is going to be like someone with fire dominance or fire sign qualities. So maybe you really, to feel connected to another person, you need someone that is free spirited, someone that's like the life of the party. You might find them to be a little bit daring or feisty, someone that just adores you and is passionate about you and is willing to pamper you. The type of dynamic that you'll seek is someone that is playful and spontaneous, and someone that won't judge you or let their ego get in the way of your relationship. You're going to be attracted to someone that is daring, and you're going to look for someone that kind of takes you out of your comfort zone. And just to go a little bit more in depth with the 3 earth rising signs, if you have a Taurus rising, that means you have Scorpio in the 7th, but Sagittarius in the 8th house. So your type is gonna be someone that's intense, someone that doesn't like to share their secrets, that might come off as very closed off to other people. But when you get to know them, they are free-spirited, very intellectual, and an optimistic person, someone that sees something they want and goes for it. They may be very into travel and just having fun, not putting any limitations on themselves. And if you have a Virgo rising, you have Pisces on the 7th house and Aquarius in the 8th house, or Aries in the 8th house. Sorry. So your type is going to be someone that is very dreamy, maybe a little bit aloof and up in the air, someone very creative and artistic, but that might actually struggle with some real issues, like whether that be mental health issues, addiction, family trauma. They might be homeless or displaced. Your type is someone that is very deep and kind and caring, but might actually have a lot of issues on top of their great personality. But what you need to feel connected to someone, having Aries on the 8th house, is someone that is passionately committed to you, someone that will be infatuated with you and blindly just always be there for you, and someone that is bold, not afraid to say how they feel, because in turn that will make you be able to show up in the relationship that way with them. But if you have a Capricorn rising, you have Cancer on the 7th in the 7th house, but Leo in the 8th house. So your type is going to be someone that is very nurturing, very kind, that likes to take care of other people, might be very good with children. But what you need to build a strong soul connection with another person is someone that is very confident, someone that will not accept bare minimum, that will not let you get away with not being romantic enough, and wants to be treated like a queen, king, princess, whatever. Someone that is attentive and respectful and generous, because then you will be that way with them. So yeah, let's move on to having an air sign on the ascendant. If you have an air rising, that means that you have a fire sign in the 7th house and an earth sign in the 8th house. So your type is somebody that is very entertaining, outspoken, passionate, free-spirited, life of the party, very playful. To other people, they might come off as very rude or blunt, because they just don't know them well enough. But yeah, they're going to be very feisty and bold and just passionate people. But what you need to feel connected to another person, having an earth sign in the 8th house, is someone that is very grounded and mature. You need someone that is responsible about their money, about their business, that is consistent and committed. Someone that might be popular, having a fire sign in the 7th house, but very mature, and people probably don't know as much about them as they think. Someone that is chill and low key, but fun at the same time. You're not going to commit to someone, or you're not going to trust someone that is fun but lacks dependability. You need someone that has a balance between the two. And to keep going on with this, having a Gemini rising, you have Sagittarius in the 7th house and Capricorn in the 8th house. So your type is going to be someone that is very funny, very blunt and outspoken, does not put limitations on themselves, and has some sort of self-authority that they lead with. But what you need to build a strong connection and attachment and soul connection with another person is for them to be grounded, committed, responsible, and serious, because then they will rub off on you in that way. And if you have a Libra rising, that means that you have Aries in the 7th house and Taurus in the 8th house. So your type is someone that is very bold, passionate, might be a little bit of a player, but if they're not feeling it, they're not going to be their type of person. Someone who's very charming, could probably talk anybody into anything, here one day, gone the next. But your need to build a strong bond and trust with somebody is someone like a Taurus, having Taurus in the 8th house. So they're very grounded. They might be very slow to open up, but they're always reliable and consistent. Someone that is very sensual, will treat you to a candlelit dinner, and just kind of make you feel loved in a different way. And if you have Aquarius rising, that means that you have Leo in the 7th house and Virgo in the 8th house. So your type is going to be someone very popular, someone that might have a lot of followers, someone that's very confident and beautiful, that has a lot of sex appeal, might be a good performer and very creative. They might have really good style, good personal style, and very loyal and generous people. But what you connect with deeply is someone that is very intellectual, having Virgo on the 8th house, someone very intellectual and organized, that has a system for everything, that always knows the right answer to whatever, someone that's kind of always right. And that will help you with anything, even if it's something super big. Someone that will be thoughtful and, oh, I knew you had work this morning, let me make sure you have a cup of coffee ready when you leave. That's what's going to make you feel committed and that you can trust and, build a life with another person. And finally, if you have a water ascendant, that means you have an earth sign in the 7th house and an air sign in the 8th house. So your type is going to be someone that keeps a respectful distance, may come off a little bit nonchalant, but ultimately they are emotionally guarded yet mature, popular but serious, chill and low key, responsible, reliable, all that good shit, right? But what you need for a soul connection, to feel close to someone, is someone that is charming, friendly, doesn't really mind keeping things casual or just lighthearted. It doesn't mean that they won't commit, but that they just are a little bit more childlike with the way that they go about their relationship. Someone that doesn't make you feel bombarded, that can take it easy and have fun and, just do stupid shit with. Excuse me. Yeah. And this is because you take relationships very seriously. You like consistency and predictability, but at the same time, what makes you feel really intimate with another person is someone that isn't boring. You don't have to do the same thing with them every day, but they kind of just bring something special to your life that you can't get anywhere else. So yeah, if you have a Cancer rising, you have Capricorn in the 7th house and Aquarius in the 8th. So this is interesting because that means that you have double Saturn influence in regards to your type and your soul connection. So for your type, you want someone that is responsible, kind of out the way. You never really know where they are. They might be in your friend group, but you only see them every now and then. Or they're there all the time, but they don't talk much. Someone that is maybe like a workaholic and kind of serious, right? But when they get close to you, they are more like an Aquarius. They actually show their kind of crazy side, like their eccentric side. They have like a lot of weird hobbies and weird talents that most people don't know about. Someone that just keeps you on your toes and is very interesting and mature in their own way. Like they're fun but mature. And yeah, if you have a Scorpio rising, you have Taurus in the 7th house, but you have Gemini in the 8th house. So your type is going to be someone that is very sensual, someone that smells good, that looks put together, someone that does not stand for any bullshit, but is very kind, someone that takes care of the people they love and is extremely loyal, someone that will not tolerate betrayal of any kind, that stands well on their own. But what makes you feel connected to another person, that makes you feel like, oh my God, I could see a life with this person, is someone that's mentally thrilling, that is an intellectual, that knows a shit ton about stuff on various topics, someone that might be a bit of a player until they come to you and you guys get a bond that's so deep that you don't want anybody or you don't see or want anybody else. And then with the Pisces rising, you have Virgo in the 7th house, but Libra on the 8th house or in the 8th house. So your type is going to be someone that might be a little bit rigid on the outside, someone that might come off maybe a little bit judgmental, but is actually secretly very compassionate and caring, someone very organized and thorough, someone that pays attention to you and can find all your little details and nuances about your personality and loves you for it, right? Someone that might be a little bit closed off, but is very smart and actually very kind. But then your soul connection, what you need to bond with someone and to trust them, is someone that is very polite, someone that won't talk to you crazy when they get upset with you, someone that always tries to be fair with you, and the same with other people, someone that is just kind, someone that's kind all around, that's just gorgeous and very well liked. They might be a bit of a people pleaser, or just someone that likes to keep the peace, that is willing to sacrifice themselves to keep the peace, and is very relatable and understanding. So yeah, I think that'll be the end of the video. I was gonna actually post this in an edited video and put everything in the background and do all of this stuff, but I didn't feel like it, and I felt like this is easier just to get it all out in one. I have posted several videos already on this in short form on TikTok, and you can go and look at those. All of that is already posted if you go and look at the shorts on my page. And yeah, I hope this was helpful. And if there are any topics that you guys want to learn more about, please let me know, and maybe I'll add that to the next live. Have a good one. Oh, also, I don't know if I mentioned this, but if you have calculated your natal chart and you see, oh, I have a Virgo rising, but I actually don't have Pisces in the 7th house, that's okay. What that means is that you probably have something called an interception in your chart. When you calculate your chart with Placidus chart drawing system, it takes interceptions into account, which is a whole nother topic, but just understand that it doesn't mean that anything is wrong per se. It just means that you need to look at whatever explanation I gave for what sign falls on your descendant. it won't necessarily change your type, but it will just make you a little bit more unique and different than anybody else that might be a Virgo rising with Pisces on the descendant, or a Gemini rising with Sagittarius on the descendant. Okay. Bye, guys.